Lying between the Pacific Ocean and the eastern shore of Lake Macquarie in New South Wales, Swansea Adventist Church is a traditional congregation of mainly older people.
It's a wonderful little church. There's probably about 25 to 30 people that come along. It's a really warm church. It's a small community, but it's a close community.
Justin Boyd volunteers as the assistant pastor at Swansea. His background and passion is in youth ministry, but he's been won over by the commitment church members have shown to reaching their community.
The church here runs a food pantry every Friday from 10 to 12, and probably each week they have about 30 to 35 people come through and collect food hampers and bread and whatever they need for the week. Yeah, it's been a great way for the church to connect with the community. We have a lot of regulars that we know, and they come every week. We know them by name, we get to know their stories and talk with them.
Senior Pastor Eddie Mackey has infected Justin with his enthusiasm for visitation and building kingdom relationships with Swansea residents. A key part of the evangelistic strategy they've developed centres around Signs of the Times magazine.
Pastor Eddie had been using Sign magazines probably for years and years and years before I came along. For me, the Signs magazine was a magazine that sat on the shelf. I hadn't really looked at it or seen it in much detail at all. And Eddie would take the Signs magazine, and as we'd go from door to door, we basically use the Signs magazine as an excuse to go visit someone. When we have probably a dozen people in the community that we're connected with, not coming to church yet, but we just sort of have that connection with them. A new Signs magazine comes out, and that's an excuse for us to go and say, hey, here's a new Signs magazine, how are you doing? Connect with them. Sometimes they'll invite us in, and we'll chat with them for a little bit, and it's just a really great conversation starter. And it's because we're combining the magazine with the relationship. And we go to the door, we say hi, usually we know them, know their name, we just hand them a magazine and talk to them about their life and what they've been up to. It's a really great point to connect with.
Time and again, Signs magazine has been proven to be an effective tool in building connections with people who don't yet know Jesus. How can your church use Signs of the Times to reach your community? Find out more at signsofthetimes.org.au.